Hi, welcome to my studio. My name's Thomi. This is Nessie, and I've got Sadie sleeping behind me. She's snoring. So yeah, welcome to my studio. This is my Flosstube number 16, I think. 16. And today is Thursday. I can't remember the date, but January is almost over and it's hard to believe. I've got a lot to show you today. I don't have any notes though. Hey, why don't you sit up there? There you go. Yeah, I've tried doing this a few days. I usually film on Monday. It's just, we've all been through it, right? We know what the last 3 weeks has been like. So just know I'm there with you. I'm feeling it. It's hard. But I am going to keep stitching and keep putting good things out there. And I think that's what I can do. So that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I've got some things that'll help you do that for yourself and whoever needs it in your life too. Okay. The most exciting thing is I finished stitching my pattern, Gramma Knitty. I finished the model. And I'll show you what it looks like. I've got it almost to an FFO. Like, it's really cool. I'm really happy with what I decided to do with it. So that I'll show you about, that'll be the last thing I show you because it's just too cool. But I've got, let's see, I have 2 whips and I have a ready to start, which is also a new pattern. So let's get to it. I've needed to just sink into stitching. So I've not worked on a bunch of different things. It's really been good to just kind of bury myself in one project and kind of lose track of everything else. So I've got a lot of progress on 2 things. Well, three, because I finished Gramma Knitty. All right, so the first thing, well, the last one that I've been working on, hi, was Quaker Virtues. And I started in the upper left-hand corner. And I don't think you can see here, but in the chart, there are the words that make up the Quaker Virtues. Excuse me. So the words are integrity, simplicity, community, equality. And I thought there was another one. Yeah, harmony. So I like those. I like those a lot. And this stitch is going really, really well. It's on 46 count stone linen, and I can't remember who the fabric is by. I don't know why I can't remember that, but it's stone, which is like a blue, very light blue. And I'm using Pirate and Robin floss 1/2, 46 count. So I started right here and went over and up, and then I'm kind of just, this is about 1 page. This kind of is on the 2nd page. So this is about 1 page. There's 9 pages. Get that, I don't know how close. There we go. So that's really pretty. I really love working with the variegated floss. This was a little frustrating at first. I've not worked on 46 count before, and I thought maybe I was having a lot of problems with the floss shredding, and I'd never used Pirate and Robin before either. I think I mentioned this on my last Flosstube, but it really is just a matter of getting a little bit bigger of a needle to make a little bigger of a hole. And then I have been using wax down the whole length of the thread. I usually only wax like the first 2 inches so that it doesn't pop out of my needle. But that's worked beautifully. And with this floss, because it's variegated, you know, the beeswax doesn't change how it looks. And because the stitches are so small, having all that fluffiness, the natural fluffiness on the cotton floss, it gets kind of, you know, when you wax it, it smooths that down. But that's okay because the stitches are so small. It actually looks, the stitches look a lot better. I've done that on 40 count, and then you end up with these stitches that look kind of puny. Too skinny. The thread looks too skinny, but on the 46 count, it's perfect. So it's not the floss, it's not the fabric. It's just a matter of I had to go. I usually use a 28 on 40, and I thought I would need that on the 46, but it's actually worked really good to use a 26 needle, and then it's just a little bit bigger of a hole. So it's going really well. I've put many, many hours into this. It's been really fun playing with starting and stopping. Like this little thing here was one length of thread, and I started at the top and I kind of went down and I did a back around, and then I went down to do the middles in the dark blue, and that was so much fun. And I had exactly the right amount of thread. So that was fun. And so, you know, like it's those little challenges that keep you engaged, where I think that's how to get through big projects. I mean, I've not finished many things, but it seems like that's what keeps me going, is like this little bit here, this little bit there. And I guess, you know, anytime you're doing a sampler, it's like that. At least the little motifs are finishes, right? And so here's my next dilemma is, so these are here, I'll put these in front so that we can see it a little better. So this is Hadley. This is my main floss. And then I've got these two, Nessie. I've got a new earring and she has to inspect it. It's got a little bell on it, and she's going to ring the bell. So I don't know whether to do the words in this teal or this, what's the yellow called? Gold. So there's an alphabet and numbers, and then there's the words. And I think I can't decide. I can't decide whether to do the letters and numbers in the gold or the teal. Now, the variegated floss has a lot of, like, the blue seems to be more dominant, the dark blue. And so I kind of am thinking that I don't want the teal to be the big words. It just might become way too heavy, you know, on that end of the spectrum. So I'm leaning toward making the words in the gold and the alphabets sprinkled around in the teal. But we'll see. We'll see. I've left all the spaces. There's, oops, which way do we go here? Ouch. Did you just take that apart? You little stinker. You are a stinker. Oh, sorry. Anyway. So yeah, there's like space for a letter here, and there's a letter there, a J, one here, there's one here, and I think there's one here too. So what I'll probably do is I'll try to get this area down here done, and then put a letter in the teal and see if it works for me. And maybe I'll put a yellow one over here and see which one I like better, and just take out whichever one doesn't work. So that's probably how I'll do that. Because I don't really have, like, I like the colors all the same. It's not, and these two colors are the colors of my dining room. So, this will hang in my dining room. So it's kind of cool if it, you know, I never thought I'd be making stuff to match my rooms, but there I am. Okay, so that's Quaker Virtues. If you've been, I haven't had that up on Instagram. I've not felt up to posting since I started that, but I did post. I'm doing the Modern Folk Embroidery 2026 stitch along, and this I posted when I was working on this for, I think it was almost 10 days. I posted 6 or 7 times my progress on Little Acorns. But here you can see I've got the top band done, and I'm very happy with it. So I've got, you can see, I've got the variegated floss, but then I've chosen to do the birds in blue and some of the flowers in a purple. And I like how that moves across the piece. And so each band, I'm going to pick out parts to make blue and parts to make purple. And I've got a green too, if I want to do some elements in a solid green that matches. So it's really, I don't know. Anybody else working on this and just finding it to be so it's the easiest pattern I've worked on so far as counting goes. It's just so well designed that you just flow across. You know, it's not super challenging to find a good thread path. Like the back, like normally my backs look pretty, I mean, not bad, but not good. And this one looks really clean. Look at that clean back. I mean, for me, that's a really clean back. And that's really just because it's so easy to stitch. And this is 36 count feldspar. And I really am liking this linen a lot too. I really like 36 count. I think that's my new favorite. I'll probably, I think I'll probably buy a yard of white 36 count so that I can, next time I want to dye something, I'll use that because I like it. And it's big enough that it's really easy to see, but you still have nice small stitches and you don't have to buy big, huge pieces of fabric to do big projects. So I think it's a happy place for me to be, especially as I continue on with designing and doing models. I think it'll be nice to have models in 36 count because then it's accessible to everybody, right? Like if you want to do Aida, going to 18 count Aida is pretty, you know, most people can do that too. So that is Little Acorns. I don't see I'm not going to have any trouble keeping up. Like, I think I'll probably be able to finish a band a month for sure. And like these narrower ones, maybe I'll finish this narrow one and then work. There's this wider one here, and that one will take maybe 2 months, but it's going to be doable. It's totally doable, to get it done. Partly because I'm enjoying it so much. It's so much fun to stitch on. Okay, so those are my whips. Like I said, lots of progress, but only 2 things. What are you doing? She's being a stinker. So let's see, what do I show you next? Okay, well, I'm going to start. I charted. This is the digital mock-up of my new next release, which is called Declaration, and it's key parts of the Declaration of Independence. And originally, you know, I'm not too drawn to Americana type patriotic stitching. Like there's that style, and it seems like most of the things that I see that are patriotic also have that Americana sort of design going on, and it just doesn't do it for me. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my thing. But at the same time, I kind of want to have a little bit of that. So I picked, it's another piece of this stone linen, and more Pirate Robin floss. So this is the stone linen and Pirate Robin blood red. And I've ordered, but I don't have yet. You can see the fireworks I've charted in blue, and I'm going to have it be a variegated blue that goes, from dark to really light. I think I ordered a couple to pick from. I charted it with, I can't remember the number, but it's a variegated DMC cornflower blue variegated. So that may or may not be what it ends up being. When I start stitching it, I'll start with at the top, probably. It's one of the, I've realized when I was just this morning, when I was kind of laying it out and looking at it, like, oh, this is going to be hard to start because I don't want to start from the bottom in case I decide to change the design and move things further apart. So I have to start from the top, but then it's just got that arch of stars. And on 46 count, that's going to be fun counting to make sure that's all, where it's supposed to be. So I'll just take my time. I've got these. Where did they go? Oh, they're in the other room. I made myself counting pins, with the floss, two needles hooked together on a twisted cord, so that I can count more predictably. I'm not very good at counting big spaces. A lot of people say that, I guess. I used to feel really dumb because I couldn't do it. Ouch. Ouch. You're just so rude. So rude. So rude. So, okay. So Declaration is available in my shop. If you're seeing this video, it should be live. And in the spirit of the moment, in the spirit of winter 2026 in America, I'm going to make it free until President's Day in February. So midnight on President's Day, it won't be free anymore. But I will still give a portion of my proceeds from the sale of it to the ACLU. But if you download it for free before then, I would really appreciate it if you would make a donation, $5, to, some sort of mutual aid, a group that's doing some work, whether it's in your community or in Minneapolis, wherever is what you're focused on, where you're trying to do good and make a difference. I would appreciate if, you download the pattern and put $5 aside for something for somebody else. And then on President's Day, I'm going to start stitching it probably this weekend, just to make sure that I've got, so that I know that it'll load and everything works properly on the file. I'm going to start it this weekend, but I'm going to open up for a stitch along starting on President's Day, which is I want to say the 19th of February. That's what I get for not having notes, right? But yeah, it'd be kind of fun just to I'll have a hashtag and we can kind of see what everybody else is doing. And I'd love to see people change it. Like, I think there's great opportunities to make those fireworks really exciting, or you could do it totally traditional and do everything in red. You could do some crazy fabric, right? Maybe some red, white, and blue splotchy patriotic fabric, whatever. I would love to see like all the crazy things. I've never done a red alphabet sampler, so that's what I'm going to do. But there's all kinds of things you could do with it. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I had a lot of trouble with the technology part of it. So I didn't end up making it as big as I wanted. It's like an almost square, so it'll fit. This fabric is 17 inches wide, and I'm gonna have 3-inch borders. So it's only about 11 by 12 inch stitched area on the 46 count. So I had it much more of a long and narrow, but because of, I don't know, I'm probably just understanding the apps wrong, as far as like size limitations. But for now, I've given up fighting with it. I adjusted my design, I made it shorter, and now then it was easy and it worked. So that's what we have for this time. Yeah, anyway, technical problems, not your problem. Okay, so I don't have it in front of me. I'm gonna pause and I will be back with Gramma Knitty. Okay, we're back. All right, I'm not gonna draw this out. I'm really excited. Here we go. So you can see I got all the stitching done. And it's got a batik border. So I started, I liked the idea of making it an octagon to kind of emphasize that it's, you know, it's more of an organic shape. And it might be hard to believe, but these were all scraps that were in my stash. And they weren't even mine. They were given to me about a year ago by somebody that I was one of the other volunteers at the Crafting Quilt Community Quilting Center. Sorry, which is they use they have, ouch, you are being really rude. I'm not a piece of food for you to chew on. I'm sorry. Yeah, so like I didn't, like, it was free, and I was like, look at how cool that matches. It's just so cool. I really am happy with how she turned out. I don't know exactly how I'm going to quilt it, but I am going to make it as a wall hanging, on quilted wall hanging. I don't know if I want to, I'm leaning toward having the quilting be very minimal, like just stitch in the ditch, maybe even use some that invisible filament stuff for, like, if you're it's recommended for doing like heirloom look machine quilting. So I'm kind of leaning toward that rather than trying to get fancy. This border is pretty, that kind of screams, right? So I don't really need to put more in there. I will be using white batting, because even I've tested it, even just with a little bit of off-white batting, like the cream, the natural stuff, which is what I usually get, because I usually don't work with fabrics that are light enough for it to make a difference, like to show through. But through the linen, it really does, it does make a difference. It brightens it up a lot, having the white behind it. So that's what I'll use. And I don't have backing fabric yet either. I haven't decided whether to go cheap and just use what I usually use for wall hangings, which is like plain muslin or an old used sheet, right? Like that's usually for a wall hanging, because it's never going to get washed hardly. It's not going to get seen on the back. But this piece feels pretty important to me because it's my first cross-stitch design. It's my biggest finish to date. I forget how many stitches, like 23,000 some stitches. I'm just really happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I have no idea where I'm gonna hang it in the house, but I'll show you when I do put it up. yeah, so it's a good size. I haven't measured it, but it's, you know, maybe 30 inches all together. Yay. It was really hard to get it straight. You can see like here at the bottom, I've got this basting stitch. I had to take out all that and and then hand stitch it down because I didn't have even between the feet on the little planter type thingy. And it still doesn't look straight, but I counted the threads. And it's by the threads, it's straight. It should look square, but it doesn't. So that's another thing. Once it's quilted, any of those little imperfections kind of get soaked up by the quilting. You know, the quilting covers a lot of errors in piecing. So that's it. I'm very happy with it. It is for sale on my website, which the link is down below. It probably won't work because YouTube doesn't like me to link to my shop yet because I haven't had enough watch hours. Watch to the end, please. So that's that. I mean, like Gramma Knitty was at 50% last time I was here. So I really did a lot of stitching. Thousands and thousands of stitches in the last 6 weeks. I've been working on all kinds of other stuff too. I'm not going to go into that too much today, but I will. I'm making a bunch of other things just because my hands kind of needed a break from just stitching 8 hours a day. So I started doing some project bags that I'm going to sell because I've finally figured out how to make them look nice and professional. So I'll either do an extra or that'll be in my next video, which will be President's Day, I think. I think that's what I've got on my calendar. So it'll be President's Day the next time I record. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted today. It's been really hard getting back to do this. It's been really hard. I've been struggling the last couple weeks. But I also miss you guys. I miss the back and the forth. Everybody's so lovely. On Instagram too, I've been posting there more regularly, and a lot of you that watch me here have picked me up on Instagram, and so that's become a good place for me to hang out too. As long as I don't start scrolling, as if I just try to keep it, you know, keep my blinders on a little bit just for my sanity, you know, just keep. We all have to bear witness, but we don't have to make ourselves lose it. I kind of did that. I got in too deep, and I got myself in a really bad hole. And please don't do that to yourself. You don't have to do that to prove you care. Okay. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to care in the long run. And so it's important that we take care of ourselves, we take care of each other, take care of your neighbors. You know, if there's somebody on your street that you haven't seen, check it out, see if they're okay. We gotta get back to doing that. I think neighborhoods are important, aren't they, guys? Neighborhoods are really important. We have to take care of our neighbors. So yeah. Yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. This is a time for full hearts, I think. I'm saying a lot. I'm turning red. I don't want to get into one of those kind of things. So yeah, I'm trying really hard to focus on the things that I've had planned, to celebrate when I have a finish and a success and things are going well. It's okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay to be happy. And I think I've seen a lot on Instagram. I've seen a lot of posts, people coming forward and speaking out. Some, it's more obvious that they're uncomfortable doing that, but they feel like they have to. And I think that's good. I've also seen a lot of people really telling their followers or subscribers, if you don't like me talking about this stuff, then just unfollow, go. I don't want you here. And I kind of feel that way. But then at the same time, it's people have been duped. And then they're not all bad people. They're just maybe naive. Maybe they've never had to do critical thinking. Maybe they've always been given good advice by the people in their life that they respect. And so they don't have that critical mindset to look at things. Maybe they're evangelical Christians. Maybe you're an evangelical Christian and you have no idea how you got here. I am not going to tell you to go away. I'm just going to say, it's never too late to change your mind about anything. Anything. We talk all about consent in this, no means no, right? Well, yes means yes until you say no, right? So if you've been sucked into this miasma that has become, our government, it's never too late to go, whoa, and I'm not going to judge you. If you get there, that's awesome. If you're not getting there, that's different. Maybe you do want to knock off. You're not going to enjoy me long term, but I'm not going to tell you to get lost. If you need to talk about changing your mind, please DM me. Please email me. My email's below. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody. If you're floundering, if you're feeling lost, cut off, right? You've alienated a lot of people in your life, and now you don't know your way back in. Please reach out to, and don't be ashamed. It can happen to anybody, okay? It's a cult, and it's been being developed for 40, 50 years. It's not your fault. But it is time. This is it. This is the time. So, but seriously, if you need an ear, please reach out. I can't go out in the streets and protest. I don't have the finances to contribute large amounts. I mean, large amounts, right? I have my relationship with you folks, and that's where I start. That's where I'm able to maybe have a little impact, this tiny little corner. If the only impact I have is to make you feel braver, and then you go on and you do something that I'm not able to do, then I've helped. And you have to You know, maybe you're like me. Maybe you are disabled. Maybe you have terrible social anxiety. I can't use the phone. I have only a couple times managed to get my nerve together to make the call to my leaders. Yeah, that's really hard for me. Honestly, I would rather be in the street screaming, but I can't physically do that. But phone calls are really hard for me. So whatever you can do, that's all anybody's asking, right? Do what you can. Be open-minded. Lift people up. Don't push them down just because they've been down, right? Okay. So I'm going to put this up here again. Declaration. Please, if you're seeing this video and you like this pattern, please give it a download. I would appreciate just sharing it, talk about it. You know, there's a lot of designs out there, like protest designs. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are not. I really like the loon, and I will probably, that's a Creative Commons. The person who designed that released it in the Creative Commons so that other people can use it, not for profit, but you know, in free stuff. So I'll probably make a cross stitch pattern based on that. Hopefully sooner rather than later. That's one of my plans. I'm just going to keep stitching, folks. I'm just going to keep stitching. I'm not going to let myself get sucked into a depression. I'm not going to let them win. They're not allowed in my life that much. You know, I have the privilege of living in central New York where there's not much threat right now, like immediate physical threat. And I hope it stays that way, but if it doesn't, I want to be ready. I don't want to be worn out. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a couple weeks. I hope you're all well. I hope you have found as much peace as you can in these times. I hope you have people around you that you love and trust, and you can support them and they can support you. And I hope that if there's somebody in your life that's been pulled in, I hope that you can help them through, and you know, one person at a time. All right. Bye, guys. See you in a couple weeks. Say bye.